From translation, Net New English Translation, this 125th day of the year today we are reading passages 1 Chronicles 12-14, 1 Chronicles chapter 12, verses 1 to 40. These were the men who came to David at Ziklag, while he was still blocked from entering Judah, because Saul's son was reigning. They were among the warriors who helped him in battle. They were equipped with bows and could shoot arrows or throw stones with either their right or left hand. They were relatives of Saul from the tribe of Benjamin. Ahiezer was their commander, Josh the son of Shemar from Gibeah, Jeziel and Pelet the sons of Azmaveth, Barakah, Jehu from Anathoth, Ishmaiah from Gibon, a mighty warrior among the 30. Jeremiah, Jahaziel, Johanan, Jozabad from Jedrah, Eluzai, Jeremoth, Beliah, Shemariah and Shephatiah the Horophite, Elkanah, Ishiah, Azgil, Josah and Jashubam, the Korahites, Jola and Zebediah, the sons of Jeroham from Gedor. Some Gadites defected to David at his fortress in the wilderness. They were warriors trained for battle, expert with shield and spear, and whose faces were like the faces of lions, but they were as swift as gazelles on the mountains. Ezer was their commander, Obadiah the second, Eliab the third, Mishmannah the fourth, Jeremiah the fifth, Attai the sixth, Eliel the seventh, Johanan the eighth, Elzabad the ninth, Jeremiah the 10th, Macbanai the 11th. These Gadites were the commanders of the army, the least of them being over 100 and the greatest over 1,000. These are the men who crossed the Jordan in the first month when it was overflowing all its banks, and they put to flight all those in the valleys, both to the east and to the west. Then some of the men of Benjamin and Judah came to David at the stronghold. David went out to meet them and said to them, "If you have come to me in peace to help me, then I will be your ally. But if you have come to betray me to my enemies, though I have done no wrong, may the God of our ancestors see and judge." Then the Spirit clothed Amasai, the leader of the 30, and he said, "We are yours, David. We are with you, son of Jesse. Peace, peace to you, and peace to your allies, for your God helps you." Then David accepted them and made them officers over his troops. From Manasseh some defected to David when he came with the Philistines to battle against Saul. Yet he did not help them, because the lords of the Philistines took counsel and sent him away, saying, "He may defect to his master Saul at the risk of our heads." As he went to Ziklag, these men from Manasseh defected to him: Adnah, Jozabad, Jediel, Michael, Jozabad, Elihu and Zilithai, leaders of the thousands in Manasseh. They helped David against the raiding party, for they were all brave warriors and became officers in his army. Day after day men came to David to help him until there was a great army, like an army of God. Now these are the numbers of the warriors who came to David at Hebron to turn Saul's kingdom over to him, according to the Lord's instruction. From Judah, those who carried shield and spear numbered 68,000, armed for battle. From Simeon, 71,000 mighty warriors ready for war. From Levi, 46,000. The priest Jehoiada was a leader of the descendants of Aaron, and with him were 37,000. Zadok, a capable young man, was a leader of the priests, and with him were 22 commanders. From Benjamin, Saul's relatives, 3,000, most of them had remained loyal to Saul's house until now. From Ephraim, 20,800 mighty warriors, famous in their own clans. From half the tribe of Manasseh, 18,000, who had been designated by name to come and make David king. From Issachar, men who understood the times and knew what Israel ought to do, 200 chiefs, along with all their relatives under their command. From Zebulun, 50,000 trained for battle, equipped with all kinds of weapons of war, to help with undivided loyalty. From Naphtali, 1,000 commanders, together with 37,000 men carrying shield and spear. From Dan, 28,600 men trained for battle. From Asher, 40,000 warriors equipped for battle. From the region east of the Jordan, from Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, 120,000 men equipped with all kinds of weapons of war. All these were warriors who were ready for battle. They came to Hebron with undivided loyalty to make David king over all Israel. The rest of the people all had the same mind. They spent 3 days there eating and drinking with their relatives from as far away as Issachar, Zebulun, and Naphtali. There were also plenty of shields and spears, provisions for the journey, and various supplies. There was joy in Israel. 1 Chronicles chapter 13, verses 1 to 14. Then David consulted with all his officials, the commanders of thousands and of hundreds. David said to the entire assembly of Israel, "If it seems good to you, and if this is from the Lord our God, let us extend our efforts to send for the ark of God from Kiriath-Jearim, for we did not seek it in the days of Saul." The whole assembly agreed to do this, for it seemed right to all the people. So David assembled all Israel, from the Shihor River in Egypt to the entrance of Hamath, to bring the ark of God from Kiriath-Jearim. David and all Israel went up to Baalah, that is, to Kiriath-Jearim, which belongs to Judah, to bring up from there the ark of God, the Lord who is enthroned over the cherubim, where his name is proclaimed. They carried the ark of God on a new cart from the house of Abinadab, and Uzzah and Ahio were guiding the cart. They brought it out from the house of Abinadab, which was on the hill, with the ark of God, and Ahio walked ahead of the ark. David and all Israel were celebrating before God with all their strength, with songs, lyres, harps, tambourines, cymbals, and trumpets. When they came to the threshing floor of Nacon, Uzzah reached out to the ark of God and took hold of it, for the oxen stumbled. The Lord was angry with Uzzah and struck him down because he put his hand to the ark, and he died there beside the ark of God. David became angry because the Lord had burst forth against Uzzah, and that place has been called Perez Uzzah to this day. David was afraid of God that day and said, "How can I bring the ark of God to me?" So David did not bring the ark into his city, David's city, but he took it aside to the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite. The ark of God remained with the family of Obed-Edom in his house for 3 months, and the Lord blessed the household of Obed-Edom and all that he had. 1 Chronicles chapter 14, verses 1 to 17. Now Hiram king of Tyre sent messengers to David, along with cedar logs, carpenters, and stonemasons, and they built a palace for David. Then David realized that the Lord had established him as king over Israel, and that his kingdom had been exalted for the sake of his people Israel. David married more concubines in Jerusalem, and David fathered more sons and daughters. These are the names of the children born to him in Jerusalem: Shammua, Shobab, Nathan, Solomon, Ibhar, Elishua, Elpelet, Naga, Nepheg, Japhia, Elishama, Beliada, and Eliphelet. When the Philistines heard that David had been anointed king over all Israel, they all went up to search for him, but David heard about it and went out to meet them. Now the Philistines had come and made a raid in the valley of Rephaim. So David inquired of God, "Should I go attack the Philistines? Will you hand them over to me?" The Lord replied, "Go. For I will surely hand the Philistines over to you." David and his troops went up to Baalah, that is, to Jerusalem, and attacked the Philistines. David said, "God has burst forth against my enemies by means of a breakthrough before us." So they named that place Baal-perazim. They left their idols there, and David and his troops carried them off. Once again the Philistines raided the valley. So David inquired again of God, and God said to him, "Do not attack them directly. Instead, circle around behind them and come against them opposite the balsam trees. When you hear the sound of marching in the tops of the balsam trees, then attack, for that will be the signal that God has gone out before you to strike down the Philistine army." So David did as God instructed him, and they attacked the Philistine army from Gibon to Jezer. David became famous throughout all the surrounding nations, and the Lord caused all the surrounding nations to fear him.